Hi, my name is Nigel O'Neill and welcome to BTA Bytes. In each episode of BTA Bytes, we sit down with an industry expert to succinctly explain a particular technology or topic. And we do this by asking three simple questions. What is it? Why is it important? And what are the key takeaways for our audience? Today, we're going to be talking about agentic commerce, and I'm joined by Choy Travers, who is a startup founder, AI native, and Amsterdam local. Choy, before we get into the first question, please introduce yourself and share how you became interested in the topic of agentic commerce.
Thanks, Nigel. Great to be here. My name is Choy. I'm a co-founder of an AI startup here in Amsterdam. We're currently in stealth mode, but my background has been in e-commerce and AI. So agentic commerce is a topic that intrigues me greatly.
Perfect. So let's dive straight into the first question, Choy. And it's the big one. What is agentic commerce?
Agentic commerce is an approach to buying and selling in which AI agents acts on behalf of both consumers and of businesses to research, negotiate, and complete purchases. And this is often without any human intervention at all.
Okay. Just give, if it would be great if you could elaborate on that and share like a buyer journey just to articulate what that looks like now, the changes which may be happening compared to how retail occurs traditionally.
Sure. So how retail works traditionally, you might see an advert on Instagram of a jacket you like. You might click on that and go to the website to buy it. Or you might go to Google search, look for type of jackets, open a few tabs. You want one that's going to be warm in winter, but there's a sale on to get your purchases. Now you might speak to ChatGPT. You might tell it you want this jacket, this certain price, to be worn in certain weather. And it can go away on your behalf, research, compare lots of options, come back with a plan, say this is the 5 jackets you want, and you might then choose one. This is a place where agentic commerce is already starting to happen. It's changing your behavior when it comes to the discovery of the item you want to buy.
Okay. And so that's the sort of discovery. Where is agentic commerce going to next? Are we going to get, because at the moment, I think what you sort of talked to was around how our search for items is changing. As in, I go into ChatGPT, I go, okay, find me a warm winter coat. Hopefully I don't need it anymore because we're just ending winter here in the UK. So I'm looking forward to a nice spring and summer wardrobe. But I decided I need some new clothing. I go out there, I make that, do that search, but I still have to do that transaction and make that decision. Where is agentic commerce going to next? Are we going to see things like bot-to-bot transactions occurring?
Yeah,
Or agents,
definitely.
rather.
So that example I just outlined is something that's already happening now, and
Yep.
the way many people already use ChatGPT. We can see in the near future where the AI knows you and I so well, what we like, what we need to do. As soon as the jacket in my cupboard is getting a little bit worn out, it knows me so well that it goes and buys the exact same one or an upgrade for me without me even having to lift a finger. And this could happen in a variety of different ways. I'm running out of fridge in my milk. I'm running out of milk in my fridge, and my AI goes and orders for me and just helps me with my day-to-day tasks without me even having to use it. So it can be a personal assistant in the fact that it does everything for me.
Oh, wow. That's quite a transformation, particularly the last example you gave where automatically ordering, say, the staples of my diet, like bread, milk, all of those butter, all of those other good things, and it does it automatically for me. That would be quite amazing and exceptionally helpful.
Yeah, and this is something that's actually, it sounds futuristic, I know, but in the West where we are, this is maybe not happening yet, but in China, this is actually happening now. So in January, Alibaba updated their AI chatbot so you can order food, book flights, compare products, and pay all without leaving the conversation. And in February, during the Lunar New Year, the chatbot processed over 120 million completed orders in 6 days, with 1.5 million of those made by people over 60 years old making their first ever online purchase during AI. So China a little bit ahead, but agentic commerce is here and it is happening.
Oh, wow. I mean, I didn't even know about that example of Alibaba. That's brilliant. So, I mean, so it is here, it is happening. So what do you think are why is this important? What do people need to know about this from both the business perspective and also a consumer perspective?
From a business perspective, McKinsey projects that this could be a $1 trillion market in the US alone by 2030. 900
Okay.
million people are already using ChatGPT every week. So people are using these AI models. The next stage would be it helps them make purchases. And in terms of consumers, there's already behavior shifts happening. 44% of people who've tried AI search now say it's their primary way to search the internet. And finally, what I'll say is that there's a power shift happening. For 20 years, both for consumers and businesses, the game was we got to get found on Google. We need to get the click. We convert the customer or we convert on a website. Now it's if the AI answers the question or makes the recommendation, the user may never visit the website. So everything is changing for brands, publishers, advertisers, anyone whose business depends on web traffic, which is a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, that's quite a transformation you're mentioning there. And you mentioned the Alibaba example. Do you have any more statistics which, in terms of what's happening maybe in Europe or the US around that?
In terms of what's happening in Europe and the US,
Yeah.
one very interesting thing, maybe it's not fully related, but publishers, so people that create content online, this could be magazines, newspapers, they're losing 38% web traffic year on year. If you think about it,
Okay.
38% is a massive number. And this is basically showing that this is only going to go further down, further down, further down. So people are really panicking.
Yeah.
And if your traditional method of selling was selling to human eyeballs, I need someone on my page so they can see my banner ad for me to make money. All of
Yeah.
a sudden, people are speaking to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is scraping these websites, and those websites are never seeing me as a human giving them the
Okay.
click. So all of a sudden, we're seeing mass panic in the publishing industry. And if they're relying on any sort of advertising, they're losing massive amount of money as well. And this problem still has not been solved.
Okay, so I mean, I suppose there's twofold for that. Is one is the publishers losing the advertising revenue, but also what does that mean for the people who are actually placing the adverts? So those advertisers, how are they then going to find their consumers for their products? Say, whatever it may be, coats or clothing or shoes or general household goods. Are we seeing a change in the way in which organizations are now having to adapt to agentic commerce? And how organizations are going to market essentially to be able to take advantage of the shift to agentic commerce.
Definitely. And I'm not going to sit here and lie and pretend I have all the answers, but
Yeah.
agentic commerce is fundamentally changing how the consumer journey looks. And because of that, it's also changing the selling journey for brands and businesses. And with that comes opportunities. Just like you mentioned, you can't advertise the same way anymore because
Yeah.
an AI working for Nigel that knows Nigel's preferences doesn't care about Instagram ads or anything like that. They care about your exact specifications. It can scour the web across millions of items to find the best price. So all of a sudden, you're playing a different game. And that's why we're now seeing a whole new advertising industry arise. ChatGPT are launching their ads. That's already happening in the US
Yeah.
and lots of different things happening. And we're starting to see a movement in which people are thinking, okay, maybe I don't need to make ads for humans anymore, or maybe I need to shift to how do I advertise to AI agents? So all of this is happening right now and the conversations are starting to be had.
And with that shift to I mean, I, I, I I struggle to use the word advertising to AI agents because it sounds like we're anthropomorphizing technology,
Yeah.
but it's an expression which we can understand and we can grasp. What are what are those organizations doing to increase their visibility and their profile with AI agents to help with their continuing with that commerce, being able to basically sell their goods and chattels?
Yeah. So traditionally, it's all about having a beautiful website because as humans, we appreciate good UI and we need to be able to find what we're looking for online.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to change, but for to be recognized by AI and AI agents, you need to have everything in order. It needs to be simple, it needs to be understood, you need to have good authority, you have to have reviews. And a lot of it comes back to traditional SEO, having blogs that say what you're doing, being someone who is trusted online. And all of this feeds back into, okay, how visible are we now in AI?
yeah. Okay, so some of the traditional marketing techniques like user reviews, consumer reviews are still very, very important in the agentic commerce era because what you're saying is AI agents are still coming along, scraping those reviews and using those reviews as part of their decision-making criteria for recommending a piece of a particular item.
Exactly, because even though AI is this incredible technology, it still relies on human generated content from these publishers that are getting scraped, but
Yeah.
also from places like Reddit, where people have human generated answers and reviews. Even now, YouTube is a massive source of information that they're scraping. So it all comes back to humans, reviews, and AI just benefits from that. It doesn't make new ideas itself.
Okay. Yes. Well, yes, exactly. And that goes down a different topic where we won't go there today
Yeah.
about AI's ability to generate new concepts and new ideas, or whether it's just a recombination of existing ideas. But that's for another day. That topic. Okay, cool. So I suppose finally coming. So we've covered, what is it, how's it changing the industry, and why it's important, and about those changes. What are the key takeaways that you think you'd like to leave the audience with today?
Yeah. So some key takeaways are if you have a business, your product data is now your new shopfront for AI. So as I mentioned, in the old world, a beautiful website sold your product. Now it's your data. Make sure your data can be read by AI, meaning it's clear, accurate info about what you sell. Another one is it's useful to start thinking about if you have that you would have two customers, one human and one machine, and you need to be understood by both. Websites aren't going to disappear. People are still going to buy in the traditional way. But over the next few years, if all the predictions are right, there's going to be more and more agents buying, and you want to be ready for that age so you don't get left behind because there will be winners and there will also be losers. And finally, it could be interesting to go to ChatGPT or a similar AI model and search for your own brand. See what it says. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing of what comes up, that's your AI shopfront today. And that could be your wake up call to, okay, we need to change how we're getting made visible in AI.
So brilliant. So what you're saying is three things. First of all, make your data strategy is still absolutely critical. And for any organization, having the right data strategy is important, and making sure that data is visible and it can be seen by AI. Secondly, you're saying you still need to, and secondly, is develop your strategy around this, how you're going to do this. Because even if it's people may be saying, oh, it's going to be coming down the line, we're already doing it. I think you gave an example earlier of how AI is changing the way in which people shop and the consumer behaviors for that. And thirdly, what you're saying is just a practical tip. Go online and actually start researching yourself. Put your organization into these search engines and see what they say about you.
Exactly. And it's important to know that agentic commerce is happening. It is going to happen. It's not replacing the internet, but it's adding a decision layer on top of it. And what's different is it changes how decisions themselves get made, not which website you visit, but whether you actually visit a website at all. And we all need to prepare for that.
Brilliant. Thank you, Choy, for sharing your expertise. That has been truly insightful and with some great takeaways as well. So, this BTA Byte was brought to you by the team at Behind the Algorithm. Please visit our website at www.behindthealgo.com for more episodes, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Bye for now.